The Iraqi Dinar Today latest news brings you a significant update regarding the evolving landscape of global finance as we enter 2026. If you have been following the trajectory of international currencies lately, you are likely aware of the recent shifts occurring within the banking sector. Today, we are focusing on a development that has captured the attention of many: the increasing visibility of both the Iraqi dinar and the Vietnamese dong on official banking display screens across the nation. This shift represents a transition from these currencies being viewed as purely speculative assets to them being integrated into the digital frameworks of established financial institutions. For those who monitor global markets, seeing these specific values appear in real time within a banking environment marks a departure from the traditional reliance on secondary market data or informal exchange platforms. The core of this development lies in the fact that the Iraqi dinar and the Vietnamese dong are now being actively tracked and displayed within the core systems of various financial entities. When we speak about these values appearing on bank screens, we are referring to the integration of their exchange rates into the software that tellers, account managers, and online banking platforms used to provide services to the public. Historically, these currencies were often relegated to specialized exchange houses or private trading groups, making it difficult for the average person to find a verified, official rate through their local branch. By moving onto these mainstream screens, the currencies are essentially being acknowledged by the broader banking infrastructure as part of the wider menu of international financial instruments. Transparency is one of the primary benefits resulting from this increased visibility. For a long time, individuals holding these currencies had to navigate a landscape filled with conflicting information and varying rates from unofficial sources. The presence of these values on bank screens provides a standardized reference point that is backed by the legitimacy of the banking institution itself. This allows currency watchers to observe fluctuations, track performance, and understand the current market standing of their holdings with a level of clarity that was previously unavailable. While this does not imply a change in the actual purchasing power or a sudden shift in policy, it does provide a more stable environment for monitoring the economic data associated with Iraq and Vietnam. From a strategic perspective, this integration is an indicator that financial institutions are preparing for a future that involves more streamlined international transactions. Banks do not typically update their display systems or integrate new currency codes unless they anticipate a need for that information among their client base. By including the dinar and the dong in their digital architecture, these institutions are signaling that they recognize the growing interest in these emerging markets. It suggests a level of modernization within the banking back end that allows for smoother reporting and potentially easier processing of foreign exchange tasks as global trade routes continue to expand and diversify in the coming years. Specifically regarding the Iraqi dinar, the appearance of its value on bank screens is a development that many have anticipated due to the ongoing economic reforms in Baghdad. For several years, the Iraqi government and its central bank have been working towards stabilizing the domestic economy and re-engaging with the global financial system. When a currency like the dinar moves from being a niche interest to a visible figure on a commercial bank's digital interface, it reflects a degree of institutional recognition. It moves the conversation away from rumors and places the focus on the actual, verifiable data being utilized by the professionals who manage the flow of capital on a daily basis. The situation with the Vietnamese dong is equally noteworthy, though it follows a slightly different economic path. Vietnam has been one of the fastest growing economies in Southeast Asia, and its currency has been gaining steady recognition as the country becomes a more prominent hub for manufacturing and international trade. The inclusion of the dong on banking screens is a natural progression of Vietnam's efforts to integrate its financial system with the rest of the world. As the country meets more international compliance standards and improves its transparency, global banks respond by making its currency more accessible and visible to their customers, which in turn fosters a sense of legitimacy in the eyes of the general public. It is important to understand the historical context of why this visibility is considered a milestone. In the past, many emerging market currencies remained largely invisible to the Western banking public, unless there was a specific, high-volume demand. The fact that these two particular currencies are being highlighted simultaneously across various regions indicates a broader trend toward financial inclusivity. When the general public can walk into a local financial institution and see these rates listed alongside established currencies like the euro or the yen, it changes the way those currencies are perceived. It suggests that the barriers between frontier markets and mainstream finance are slowly beginning to dissolve. One of the questions that frequently arises during these updates is whether this visibility signifies an impending revaluation. It is crucial to remain neutral and factual here. The appearance of a rate on a screen is a technical integration, not a policy announcement. A revaluation is a complex process driven by national economic indicators, central bank policies, and international treaties. While the banking system's readiness to display these rates is a necessary step for any future changes in value, it does not serve as a guarantee that such changes will occur within a specific time frame. Investors and observers should view this as a logistical upgrade that improves the plumbing of the financial system rather than a signal of an immediate price shift. For those who are currently watching these markets, the value of this update is found in the improved ability to make informed observations. Strategic decision-making relies on having access to high-quality, real-time data. By having these rates available on official platforms, people can move away from relying on speculative reports and instead focus on the numbers provided by regulated entities. This shift toward data-driven observation is a positive step for the community, as it encourages a more grounded and realistic approach to understanding how global currencies behave in a modern, interconnected environment. Accessibility also plays a major role in why this news is trending. When banks integrate these currencies into their digital screens, it often precedes improvements in liquidity and the ease of exchange. If a currency is visible in the system, it usually means the bank has established the necessary protocols to handle it, whether that involves simple reporting or more complex transaction services. This increased ease of use is a significant benefit for anyone who needs to deal with these currencies for travel, business, or other personal reasons. It simplifies the process of interacting with the international market and reduces the friction that has historically characterized these exchanges. We must also consider the role of market psychology in these developments. When the public sees a currency listed on an official bank display, it naturally builds a sense of confidence in the legitimacy of that asset. Confidence is a major driver of market participation and adoption. As more people feel comfortable with the idea of the dinar and the dong being standard parts of the financial landscape, the perception of these currencies can shift. This doesn't change the underlying economic fundamentals, but it does influence the level of attention and interest they receive from both retail observers and larger institutional players. However, with increased visibility comes the need for heightened caution and risk management. Just because a currency is easier to see and track does not mean it is free from the volatility inherent in any emerging market. Global economic trends, regional political stability, and shifts in trade policy can all impact the value of the dinar and the dong at any time. It is vital for anyone following this news to maintain a balanced perspective and avoid getting swept up in the excitement of technical updates. Staying informed about the broader economic landscape of Iraq and Vietnam is just as important as watching the numbers on a screen. In Iraq, the push for digital transformation in the banking sector has been a key priority for the central bank. The goal is to move away from a cash-dominated economy and toward a modern system that can interface seamlessly with international banks. The appearance of the dinar on global screens is a reflection of this internal progress. It shows that the technical work required to link Iraq's financial data with the rest of the world is moving forward. This is a long-term project that involves upgrading infrastructure, improving regulatory oversight, and ensuring that the currency meets all international anti-money laundering and transparency requirements. Similarly, Vietnam has been making significant strides in its financial regulations to attract more foreign investment. The country's central bank has been working to align its banking practices with global standards, which makes it easier for international banks to list the dong on their platforms. This integration supports Vietnam's goal of becoming a more integrated member of the global economy. For watchers of the dong, this is a sign of maturity in the Vietnamese financial sector. It indicates that the country is successfully navigating the complexities of modernizing its monetary system while maintaining the stability required for international recognition. For the everyday observer, these updates provide a practical way to gauge the progress of these nations. Seeing the dinar and dong on a bank screen is a tangible sign of change that doesn't require an advanced degree in economics to understand. It is a visual representation of the work being done behind the scenes to bring these economies into the fold. This transparency allows for a clearer understanding of how these currencies are valued in relation to one another and to major global benchmarks. It provides a sense of continuity and a way to measure the passage of time as these markets continue to develop. Strategically, it is always wise to look at the why behind these changes. Banks are profit-driven entities that invest in technology when there is a clear benefit to doing so. The decision to integrate the IQD and VND codes suggests that there is enough volume or interest to justify the update. This could be due to increased trade, tourism, or the presence of large communities who regularly send remittances or conduct business in these regions. Whatever the cause, the result is a more robust and responsive banking system that can cater to the needs of a more globalized clientele. As we move forward into 2026, it is likely that we will see further integration of these and other emerging market currencies. The trend toward digital finance and real-time reporting shows no signs of slowing down. For the community following the Iraqi Dinar and the Vietnamese Dong, the current level of visibility is a milestone in a much longer journey. It validates the time spent watching these markets and provides a more professional framework for future observations. It is a reminder that the world of finance is constantly evolving and that staying informed is the best way to navigate these changes. To wrap things up, the appearance of Iraqi dinar and Vietnamese dong values on bank screens is a major update that highlights the themes of transparency, legitimacy, and global integration. It offers a new way for the public to interact with and observe these currencies through official, regulated channels. While it is a positive technical development, it remains just one part of a larger economic picture that includes many variables. Patience, research, and a commitment to following verified data remain the most effective tools for anyone interested in the future of these emerging markets. The significance of this moment cannot be overstated for those who have spent years tracking these specific currencies. We have moved from a period of relative obscurity to one of clear digital presence within the very institutions that govern our financial lives. This transition marks a new chapter in the history of the dinar and the dong, one characterized by greater openness and a more direct connection to the global economy. As these systems continue to update and refine their displays, the ability of the average person to stay connected to these markets will only improve. We will continue to monitor these developments closely as they unfold across the banking sector. The world of currency is never static, and each update brings us a clearer view of the path ahead. Thank you for tuning in to the Iraqi Dinar Today latest news as we explore these historic shifts in the financial world. Stay grounded, stay informed, and keep a close eye on the screens as the global economy continues its fascinating transformation.